everyone, my name is Shivani. I am the owner of Sienna the guide dog, whose videos you may have seen previously. I will link those descriptions below and the videos. Today I thought I would do something completely different. I thought I would tell you about something that has been on my mind as a guide dog owner, or even as a visually impaired person before I got Sienna. This may not be something that all blind people feel, but this is something that I definitely do come across, and it does bother me. I thought I would do something different, so if you do like this video and you'd like to see more, please leave comments in the box below. What I wanted to talk about was accessing trains. I actually use Southwest trains on a daily basis. I use the trains to get to work. I also catch the train from an unmanned station. So with Sienna, and even before I had Sienna, I have learnt where to stand on the platform so that I know where the disabled section, or majority of the time the disabled section, will come to that specific spot, which means it's easy for me to get on. I'm not plastering through people to get to the disabled area. I actually know where I am. And I normally sit in a disabled area of the train because I feel it gives Sienna a little bit more space, and it also gives me space. With the cane, it makes sure I don't fall into anything, I don't sit on anyone's lap, which never has happened, luckily, but you know, I don't really want to put myself in that situation. So recently when I got on the train, this isn't just a recent thing, but one incident that happened was that the disabled section of the train was completely jam-packed. Now, it wasn't just jam-packed with people, it was actually just jam-packed with bikes. These bikes took up not only the disabled area where the flip-down seats had been flipped up so that they could put 3 bikes there, but somebody had also taken up the actual passageway of the train to put his bike, which meant that I couldn't walk around the bike. Sienna actually didn't know what to do because the bikes were in the way. Somebody even offered me a seat on the disabled area, but I couldn't get to it, or Sienna couldn't even get me to it. I had to push the bike out the way because the man with the bike refused to move. I had to push it out the way so that I could make sure Sienna was not in the way of other people and her tail being trampled on, because she was adamant she wanted to lie down. I took a video, which I'll show you in a minute, but it was so busy that it made me so uncomfortable, and the guard completely ignored me, and so did the bike owners. All of them ignored me. So tell me what you think about this video. After I took that video, I did actually put it on my Instagram, my Twitter and my Facebook feed, and I did get a response back from Southwest Trains. Now, they did sound apologetic, and they did ask me to make a formal complaint via their website, which I did. And when I did, I gave them the full information. I also advised them that as people got off the train at the next destination, as they disembarked, those passengers with the bike actually rolled their bike into Sienna, and one of them kicked her. Now, she yelped. So she didn't just feel it, she actually did feel pain at that point for her to yelp. And when I mentioned that to Southwest Trains and showed them that video again via my complaint, their response was simply, "We're sorry and we'll refer it to the Guard Association." There was no mention of, "We apologise for the injury that may have been caused to your guide dog," whether she needed to be checked, because if I needed, let's say she was injured and I had to take her to the vet, I don't think that that's a situation that guide dog should have paid for, personally. I think that Southwest Trains should have taken a little bit more ownership of having a train that was actually slightly dangerous for disabled passengers who actually were sitting in a disabled area, or were trying to sit in a disabled area. Well, one thing that I did raise with them is that on the platform on a daily basis, they do announce that bikes can only get on a train in the bike section. Now, if the bike section is full, they are not allowed to then get on that train. That announcement I have never seen enforced in the whole 2 years that I've heard that announcement. Never has it been enforced. I note that for every disabled section of the train, there are always 2 sections of bike areas, and I understand that in the bike sections there is a strap, so that doesn't matter how many bikes there are, those bikes are strapped in, and that's for safety reasons. None of that, I believe, is adhered to because nobody cares, and they will put their bike in a disabled area. Nobody noticed on that day that Sienna had actually been kicked. None of them had noticed that Sienna had a bike rolled into her. The guard did nothing that day, and it really did upset. People have argued with me previously on the train that, oh, well, you're only blind, so you're not actually disabled. And people have also thought, maybe I don't look that blind when I'm out and about, but they think that I'm training her. It's irrelevant whether I am with her, without her, using the cane, whether I am blind. Some disabilities are hidden, and actually the sign for disabled is a universal sign. It does look like a wheelchair, but it is a universal sign for all disabilities. It doesn't mean that only people with a wheelchair can sit in that area. There are three main reasons why I choose to sit in a disabled area. The first being that it gives Sienna space. And I really prefer to give her space because I want her to be visible to other people, and I want her to make sure that she's comfortable because I don't want her to get injured. The second reason is that I choose to sit in that area of the train because when I get off at the destination, the majority of the time either passenger assistants will be stood there waiting for me, or the lift will be very close by if it's a station that I know, and that makes my life easier getting on and off the train. The third reason is if I am getting on an unmanned station and I have booked passenger assistance, the guard will also know about it, and he will walk through the train, and he would have been told, because I would have told the passenger assistance team, please let the guard know that I am sat in the disabled area, and he will come and find me. Even if I haven't booked passenger assistance, if I haven't been able to buy my ticket, again from an unmanned station, I will wait for the guard to come to the disabled area because it is very difficult for me to identify, as a blind person, who is the guard. I don't know what he looks like. I don't know what he or she looks like or where she is. I don't know any of that. And actually walking through the gangways, especially when it's a busy train with Sienna, is actually very difficult. So sitting in a disabled area makes it a lot easier for someone who's vulnerable for the guard to come to you. So those are the three main reasons why I use it. Bike people, however, choose to ignore any of those rules, any of those areas that are set up for them, and I find that very upsetting. And the fact that South West Trains took no ownership made it even harder for me. This is completely a personal thing. I do find that other people who are visually impaired, blind, and have a guide dog may choose not to sit in the disabled area, and that is completely their choice. That is completely up to them and where they feel comfortable. But I know that that's how I feel comfortable sitting in a disabled area. I'll do the same on a bus because Sienna needs a bit more space. I like to keep Sienna's harness on short haul distances because I want people to see her. Normally when I take the harness off Sienna, because she's a black dog and the floor is normally a dark colour, she does get lost, whereas I find with the harness the yellow does stand out just that little bit more, not much but a little bit more, and hopefully she'll get noticed a bit. I know people prefer to take the harnesses off and tuck the dogs underneath the normal seats. I don't like doing that, and I don't like leaving the harness on and letting her tuck underneath the seat because I'm worried that she'll actually get stuck. I've seen it before where people have, tried to get their dog out from underneath, and that's just a normal dog with a lead and the dog's got stuck underneath. So I choose to not put myself in a situation where I think I could make it difficult for myself, and that's where the disabled area is the easiest thing. I have been lucky in the past that people have befriended me on the train and have got on the train before me, and then when they see me they get up. Sorry, that would be my phone. I have had people who will help me, so if I get on the train and they can see that there is lots of people in the disabled area and nobody's noticing, they will speak up and say, there is a disabled person on the train, get up. I find that it's a really difficult situation. I realise I'm not an elderly person, I'm not a person in crutches, I'm not a person on a wheelchair, but there are reasons with someone who is blind why they've chosen that disabled area if they do want to use it. And I don't think, regardless of what type of disability it is, I do not think that bikes should be allowed in a disabled area. And I really, really do think that if you're going to make the announcement as South West Trains that bikes that cannot get on the train because the bike sections are full, then don't get them on the train. Enforce the rule. What is the point of the announcements that you have on the station if you don't enforce it? It's like saying, oh, if you see a suspicious package on the platform, please let us know, but we let you know and you do nothing. Now that won't go down very well. That would be really bad, but yet you don't do it for a bike. So I do personally think that this should be something that should be addressed by South West Trains. If you agree with me, please like and share this video. I would really appreciate your feedback and leave some comments below. Thank you.